Good afternoon, everyone. This is Wendy's Parade of Oh gosh, I'm doing my drink now. This is Wendy's Parade of Perfume. I'm Wendy. Here on my channel, I talk about the perfumes that I have on my shelf, what I've been wearing, what I've been thinking about, and what I'm up to in my little perfume world over here. So today I would like to talk about a couple of perfumes that I love from my favorite perfume house of all time, which of course is the venerable Guerlain. I love their Aqua, Allegoria, Nerolia Vetiver line. I liked it. I think I got the first one, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. And I've been saying ever since, oh, I love this so much in passing. I love these so much. I got to talk about them. I love them. I love them. I love them. But I finally got the last one in the row this year. So I feel like I'm going to do a little review on all three, plus a bonus on the Mandarin Basilic Forte Eau de Parfum that came out a few years ago. So if you want to know what I think about these beautiful green Aqua Allegorias, then keep on watching. So the first one that we were going to be talking about is going to be the original Eau de Toilette, which is just Nerolia Vetiver Eau de Toilette. And this perfume is definitely the simplest and most streamlined and the lightest wearing out of all of these. You can see the liquid actually reflects the type of perfume it is. I did write down some notes and everything, so bear with me. So this perfume has the biggest note, obviously, as Calabrian neroli. It also has vetiver, and it has fig and fig leaves, and it has basil. And what this really smells like from the bottle is just this haze of green and white florals. Now, the basil in here sometimes it can smell herbal, but what it ends up doing is making the whole composition smell grassy. And everything about this perfume screams just bright and invigorating and grassy and summertime. And it literally makes my eyes just like pop out of my head a little bit when I wear this, because it's so bright and wonderful. It's just bright and wonderful. Now, I really feel like the heaviest parts of these perfumes is the neroli and the orange blossom and things on that side. Now, if you are an absolute neroli hater, vetiver hater, then yeah, maybe you're not going to like this perfume that much. But I would say that this perfume is like 60% white floral, orange blossom, 20% green grasses, and then 20% just straight vetiver. Now, the fig in the first composition, the original Eau de Toilette, it's there, but it's still just complementing those kind of sweet, citrusy, green notes. That being said, this perfume is still an Eau de Toilette, and it kind of stays at one spot and then fades out. I don't find this perfume to be that dynamic. Like what you spray on, you spray a huge hit of citrusy, neroli, grassy, green, figgy, bergamonty vetiver, and then it just kind of fades out from there without a real grounding base note. And still beautiful to wear, maybe lasts 4 or 6 hours. It's Eau de Toilette though. It's doing what it's supposed to. And that is what is in the original Nerolia Vetiver Eau de Toilette that came out in 2002, which is really only a couple of years ago. Love this one so much. I kind of regret getting only the 75. I should have got the bigger one. Now, second in line, which came out the next year in 2023, is the Forte, which is an Eau de Parfum. This perfume is a lot richer and a lot more dynamic and has a little bit more going on. So this one has, I think the original has bergamot in it too, but it's not listed. This perfume has a listed Calabrian bergamot note, along with petitgrain, fig leaves and fig, neroli, orange blossom, rose, vetiver, and then on the bottom are cedar and vanilla to complement the vetiver. I had to actually look up, I've been wearing perfume for so long, but I never looked up Calabrian bergamot. And bergamot is actually like, forgive me for you guys that know this, but I actually didn't quite visualize this very well. It's like a lemon or a lime or an orange. It's in that family, but it's not edible. And when I first smelled this perfume, what really stuck out to me was how lemony and how limey and how just utterly zesty it is. It's just like if you are taking the zest off a lemon and a lime and like combining them together and giving them this like superpower. That's what this perfume is, the Forte. It has that Calabrian bergamot in it, along with the orange blossom slash neroli, like that big bouquet of just a beautiful and sweet but zesty, sweet and zesty white flower. And then what really makes this one particularly beautiful is that the rose is very prominent and the fig is green, and it's also fruity and almost like that fruity leather chewiness that fig can have. So it starts with that wonderful zesty bergamot, and then it fades into that beautiful neroli plus a gorgeous, like just succulent figgy rose. And then the great thing about this is that I feel like this Forte has more of a dry down, so it's a little bit woody, but the vetiver is very strong. And then believe it or not, the vanilla, it just complements the vetiver really well, because the bergamot and the neroli never really give up in this version in the Forte. So even as it dries down, it's sitting on this bed of cedar, and it's sitting on a bed of bergamot, and it's sitting on a bed of vetiver, and it's sitting on a bed of vanilla. Sorry, my tongue is getting a little twisted with all that. But so it's all there, and it's sitting on a plank. You know how some perfumes have a base and just some don't. Some just kind of do like the slow fade. This does not. This is just solid, and it's all over. This is a lot, but I really like this one. And that is the Forte. Wears like an eau de parfum. No problems there. The last one that came out later in the year is the Harvest. Aqua, Allegoria, Nerolia Vetiver Harvest. Oh, my camera doesn't really want to work today. But anyway, this is the Harvest. Now, the big addition to this is honey. This is like honeycomb, the honeycomb version of Nerolia Vetiver. You still have the bright white flower neroli, and I actually have to say that this is the least green perfume out of all of them. It's a tiny bit, it's still a little bit green and figgy, but what this really smells like, and I absolutely love this about this one, is that it smells like wildflower honey. It smells like neroli, but it just has that like kind of ambiguous, amorphous scent of wildflowers next to a field. That green scent. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So, but infused with honey. So it just smells like a spring wildflower honey. It smells so good. It's not even a downfall. It's not bad, but this perfume is the sum of its parts. It's honey, it's wildflowers, it's orange blossom neroli, and it's a little bit of vetiver. And that's what it is. That's what it smells like. That's what it performs like on the skin. And it doesn't really have a progression. It doesn't move besides fading out like the original does. So those are the three. And let's see, which one is my favorite? If I'm having a mood where I need just something light and something that isn't going to challenge me too much, I do like the original Eau de Toilette. But overall, I really love the Forte. If anyone was just going to get one and they wanted like a real perfume and not just like, oh, a nice summer spritzer, or, oh, a light eau de cologne for summertime, I really like the Forte. This one is so pretty. The rose just steps it up a notch, and Guerlain puts vanilla in like almost everything they do. So, the vanilla is just beautiful. And, yeah. I think my favorite is the Forte. That said, it was very difficult for me to track down the Harvest. They no longer make the Harvest, and bottles will float around on the gray market. And I'm really glad I tracked this down, but I like it as much as the other three, but it's not, if I had to pick one, I would pick the Forte over the Harvest. But if you love summertime, like humid quality green wildflower honey perfumes, this is just so pretty. And dare I say too, these really do smell so uplifting and so natural. And so, these aren't, even though the Forte is a little strong and it has good power, these aren't like the punch you in the face, like beast mode, like type of fragrances that have the shelf life and the half-life of a freaking half century. You know what I mean? Anyway, I think Guerlain did a fantastic job with these. I'm sure that Orange Blossom and Vetiver have existed in perfume compositions for, for forever, but I can't think of the top of my head any perfumes that actually smell like this, or any perfumes where the perfumer was like, I'm going to take these two notes and really work with them. So I'm so glad that they came up with this at Guerlain. And the good thing is the first two that I talked about are both on the gray market and, in the scheme of things, relatively affordable. The last perfume I'm going to talk about is Mandarin Basilic Forte Eau de Parfum, which came out in, I believe, 2023. Now, this Aqua Allegoria is actually a little bit older, and I've never smelled the original Eau de Toilette, which came out in like 2007. So I cannot make a comparison. I can only tell you what I think of the Forte version of Mandarin Basilic. This one as well, just like the Forte of this version, I think is probably going to be the most complicated one. Now, this is obviously orangey, right? But it veers on that, again, zesty, slightly bittersweet. It doesn't smell like just squeezed out orange juice. It smells like, the tree, the leaf, the stem, the zest. It smells very bittersweet, and it's just a really punchy orange. It's really, really strong. It's not demure and discreet or anything like that. It's a punchy, woody, green, zesty, uplift. I love it, obviously, but for people that don't want that kind of orange, I'm just being transparent here. It also is a little bit spicy because it has an anise note in it. It also has petitgrain, which is from fruit trees, so it's kind of woody. And it also has a little bit of honey to sweeten things up. And there is also vetiver and sandalwood, or excuse me, vanilla. Sorry, I was talking about vetiver on the other ones. Vanilla and sandalwood on the bottom, which really show through. I would say that this perfume, Mandarin Basilic, okay, it's oranges. It's a little bit of orange blossom. It's a little tiny bit of florals, because the rose in this perfume is fairly prominent on my skin, especially after it starts to dry down. But then it's still really woody. The sandalwood is strong. The vanilla obviously goes wonderfully with the orange blossom and the oranges. And yeah, I wouldn't even say this is particularly like light and refreshing, because I got this at the end of the summer last year, and I started wearing it in the winter, and it was a little bit of just on a dark, gloomy day, it just kind of woke me up a little bit. And while this is perfectly wonderful and not too heavy to wear in the summertime, I don't necessarily think about this as a summer perfume. I actually like this so much. I've been on the fence about things. If you've been with me, I have like 1,000,001 perfumes, and I'm like, be happy with this one. The regular Forte is enough. You don't need to go searching for the original. But honestly, I like this one so much that I may try to go find the original, which also apparently has like green tea and ivy and like peony and chamomile notes, which is a lot different than the notes for this perfume. So it may be worth getting both, or am I justifying? I'm so bad. I'm so bad. But I hope that made sense. But I really like the Forte Mandarin Basilic on this too. And this is also on the gray market and not too hard to find. So that's my review of a few Aqua Allegorias on my most favorite perfume subject matter, which is Guerlain. And if for any of you have stuck with me for this long, this is my first video after I've gone over 1,000 subscribers, which I actually never thought that would happen. I never thought that I would see the day. And I'm like humbled, and I'm very thankful for all of that. And I do read each and every comment, and I see a lot of you regularly, and I love writing back and forth with you. And so on that note, I thank you very much. I appreciate all of you. And yeah, it's actually kind of nice to be here. I have a couple of video ideas I want to do to even just say, hey, I got to 1,000, which I will get to. I've just been a little busy and had a few things going on lately. I wish my life can revolve around perfume, but apparently it can't. So I am going to be working on those. And yeah, I think if I ever get to 2,000 subscribers, maybe I'll do my top 200 or something. But I think that's going to be the very distant future. So I have a lot of time to plan for that. Anyway, tell me what your favorite Aqua Allegorias are from Guerlain. And I don't know, anyone that wants to enable me or not, should I get the first one, the original Eau de Toilette? You can tell me, or tell me that I don't need it. I can save some cash. And anyway, I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. And I really appreciate everyone. And I thank you all. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.